Hey, thanks for dropping into Dinner by Dad. I'm Robert, aka Dad, and today we're going to make one of the simplest, yet tastiest, and I think most impressive dishes I know. It's fish, trout in today's case, baked/broiled with a miso maple glaze. Before we get to the miso and the maple and the trout though, we have to get through cutting up this ginger. I only need a couple of tablespoons worth, which I'm leaving in somewhat large matchsticks. You'll see why shortly. Okay, this is way more ginger than I need. I'll take this much for the fish, and the rest I'll save for the fried zucchini I'm serving on the side. The next thing we need is a bit of garlic. Like the ginger, I'm not worried about cutting this up too fine. Thin-ish slices is more than good enough. Next we've got green onions. These are for the garnish, so I'm not going to worry about these right now. Alright, now we get into the main flavors. First, white miso paste, also known as shiro miso. If you're unfamiliar with miso, it's basically fermented soybeans. It has a salty, sweet, savory taste. The most common varieties are white, like this one, which is actually more of a tan color, and red, which is a bit more red. The difference between them, other than color, is that white isn't fermented as long, so it's milder and sweeter in flavor, which conversely means red is older and more powerful. Next we've got maple syrup. This will add sweetness, of course, but also flavor. Now we've got soy sauce. There's actually two varieties in that bowl. Light soy for salty umami, as well as dark soy for the color. Next, some mirin, otherwise known as rice wine. And just to confuse matters, some rice wine vinegar. Or is that the mirin and this is the rice wine vinegar? Nah, I think I got it right the first time. Okay, let's keep going. In a bowl, I'll make a marinade out of all the ingredients I've just shown you. So get in there, miso. You too, maple. And you, soys. Now you, mirin and rice vinegar. Your Parent Trap shenanigans aren't gonna save you. And to top things off, a good amount of freshly cracked black pepper. Now we have to mix this until smooth. Needs only a little elbow grease. That should do it. So here we have the star of the show, a nice side of steelhead trout. This recipe will actually work with just about any oily fish, so salmon's beautiful, sea bass would be amazing, black cod, my personal favorite, would be fantastic. In fact, the first time I ate this dish was many years ago when my wife and I were still dating, and I took her to a Japanese restaurant where we had miso black cod as an appetizer. That dish totally blew our minds. The restaurant used a wood-fired barbecue, so the cod was smoky and sweet and salty. To this day, it remains one of the best things I've ever eaten. Anyway, getting back on track, as you can see, I'm putting the marinade on the fish, which, by the way, is already deboned. That's important. You don't want to ruin an amazing eating experience by having to pick bones out of your teeth. I'm going to reserve a couple of tablespoons of marinade for the end, when I finish this fish under the broiler. Alright, this thing can go in the fridge. I've only got a couple of hours, but it can go in there up to overnight. Okay, let's see how our fish is doing. Not bad at all. You can see how the marinade penetrated the flesh and deepened the color. It's done its job. Now I can take most of the marinade off so it doesn't burn when this thing goes in the oven. That's why I left the garlic and ginger a little bigger, so they're easier to pick off. I've only got one camera, and I don't feel like moving it, so I'm going to do this off screen, and I'll be right back. Okay, the fish is clean, and also moved to a fresh tray. And I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees F. While we wait, we can take a closer look at the fish without all the marinade. Aside from the color, you can see that it's also firmed up a bit. That's going to cook up beautifully. Time to get this thing in the oven. As I said, the temp's set to 400 F, and I'll be putting this in the middle rack for about 15 minutes. Our fish is done. Well, at least mostly. But it's not camera ready yet. We have to baste this thing with our remaining marinade, then pop it back in the oven on high broil. About 5 minutes should do it. And here we are, miso maple trout. Look at how gorgeous that turned out. you just know it's going to taste fantastic. We'll drop a little green onion on it for color, and we're ready for a flyby. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe before you go. It really helps my little channel out. And if you have any comments, drop them below. I'll see you next week.